Okay, here we are. Welcome. We are on day 3 of the challenge. Today, we're going to be talking about financial wealth. Right? Isn't that why most of you guys are here? We spoke about the emotional aspects of wealth. We spoke about the 6 emotional needs that drive you consistently and constantly throughout your life, and how there's 2 of the most important ones that dictate what you do and how you do things and how you react and how you live. Today, we're going to talk about financial wealth and what that entails. And then we spoke about patterns yesterday, obviously, as you can check. So, financial wealth is something that we all want, you know. And everybody likes to look like, $1 million like they say, or whatever. Look really good. Buy the most expensive designer stuff. And the reality is, in most cases, the people that are really out there trying to really show off with what they have are usually not the wealthy ones. Or at least not that level of wealth that we're maybe aiming for. The ones that really go ahead and build that generational wealth and maintain it, okay, they're not trying to impress anyone with being consumers of high-end products. Yes, the owners, okay, the Louis Vuitton, the Moet Hennessy, like all of these owners, right, of these brands, they are doing pretty well, right? But the consumers are not in most cases. A lot of them are borrowing, maxing out their credit cards just to know that, hey, I got a Louis Vuitton this, I got whatever, and try to like show off with what they're wearing. But at the end of the day, what really is critical is to know that for you to build the wealth that you need to shift from being a consumer, and you need to become an owner, producer and or owner of products, services, and so forth. And that is how you build generational wealth. Now, you might say, well, hold on. What do I have to sell? I don't have any products or services. I don't know. Okay, so let me tell you. Number 1, okay, take a company like Apple, okay? Do you own an Apple product, an Apple phone, okay? I personally use Samsung, but I invest in Apple. So my question is, if you have anything of Apple, or even if you don't, you should look into investing into companies like Apple, It should be part of a diversified portfolio. I mean, if you look at Apple and you look at the statistics, I don't have them in front of me, but if you would have invested in Apple from, close to when it started or even a little bit after and just held it through, your money, I think, would have went up like hundreds of thousands of %. Think about that. And there's many other companies as well. So if you don't have what you can actually produce, or you're not ready yet to be an owner per se, that's okay. You can still become an owner by buying stock, by buying shares in company and holding it over time. But you should do it in a diversified way, like the S&P 500, where it has 500 of the biggest companies. So it's very critical, if you want to build generational wealth, it's so very critical that you go ahead and you invest in companies, and you invest in yourself, and you build your brand. So we spoke about investing in companies. Learn about stocks, learn about the S&P, learn about the Dow, learn about the Nasdaq, learn about the Russell, learn about all these different ways today where you can literally be in thousands of companies. Today they have fractional shares. They've never had that till recently. You could literally go and buy $5, $50, $100 of a stock that's trading at, whatever price, because you can buy fractional shares. You don't even have to buy full shares, right? As long as like a minimum of like $5. And if you want some links, let me know. I can post some maybe in this video where you can get some bonuses to sign up and start investing. But very important, if you did not start investing, you need to start investing. Remember, before you pay anyone else, you gotta pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. So anytime you get money, what do? You pay this one, you pay that one, you do this, you do that, you do, whatever it is. By the time you're done, there's very little left for you, right? My suggestion is to pretend that you are getting taxed an additional 20% on your money. Anytime money comes in, you take that 20% off and you do it automatically. You don't even wait to think. You just automate the process. The check comes in, boom, 20% goes off, goes up into diversified investments every single time you get paid. And if the markets go down, that's okay. You're not working as a trader. That's another opportunity to discuss. I am a trader. I do trade, and it's a great opportunity to make money. But if you know what you're doing. But I'm talking about being an investor, an owner. So you don't care if the markets go down. You don't care if the markets collapse for the next few months or even the next year or 2 or 3. If you're holding this for a long term, for a long-term investment. As the markets collapse, what you do is you just keep investing. So if you're investing every month, I don't know, $5,000, let's say, right? If you're investing that every month, okay, and the market goes down 20%, you're going to get things at a 20% discount. Wouldn't you like a sale? Wouldn't you like to buy something on sale? If you're investing into the long term and you know that these are quality companies and it's a diversified portfolio, who cares if it went down, right? So what you do is you go and you make a commitment today to start becoming an investor. Look at different retirement plans if you're not using them. Look at 401ks and always consult with a financial advisor and an accountant, a CPA, before you do anything. Okay? But very important for you to start thinking in the mindset of ownership, in the mindset of, if I'm using this product, if I love this product, I should own some of that product. If I'm using Apple, why the hell don't I own some Apple stock? I should be investing in Apple like crazy over time, long-term investing, okay? And so forth. So that's one piece, okay? The other piece is today, you have the gift of social media. And so many people today are afraid of social media, or they're, again, consumers. They're consuming content. They're obsessed with what is this celebrity doing? What is that celebrity doing? What's the latest gossip and all that other stuff, and just waste their time and all the politics, and they get really heated up and they get upset and they go into that. That's not what social media is meant for. It's meant for you to use it and not to be used by it. So what you need to do is you need to start using social media to serve you. Build your brand. Go on YouTube, create videos, go on LinkedIn, go on TikTok, go on Facebook, go on Twitter, go on all these different channels, create a brand, be constant and consistent, create content. And don't worry if you don't get views. Don't worry if it doesn't explode right away. It takes time, okay? It takes time. Don't even talk to me until you posted 100 videos. You know what I mean? It takes time. And then if you posted 100 videos, then you can see, well, what's going on? Why am I not getting the traction yet? But very important to build your brand. Very important to use social media. Do you understand that years ago, if you wanted to advertise something, you'd have to spend millions of dollars, and it would be so hard and so risky. Today, okay, for free, and maybe for a very cheap price, with the ads and stuff, you can go and you can produce content and you can advertise and you can share your product and your services. Now, one thing that's critical to know, you want to share your products and services. You want to share it with your consumers, your clients, but you want to fall in love with your clients. You want to really build raving fans. And how do you build raving fans? You build raving fans by falling in love with them, by over-delivering, by just loving them and caring for them and wanting to give. And like, like for example, myself, I'm not here to brag or whatever, but like, I love to give. I love to help. I do so many things. I did this free coaching challenge. I'm going to do other coaching challenges in the future. Some of them are going to be paid. Some of them are going to be very expensive. Some of them are going to be super expensive. But that's not the point. I'm going to have courses, this and that. But my point is, at the end of the day, I'm here to give. I love to give. I love to see people light up. I love to see people really go to the next level of their life. I don't want anyone to pass on from this world to whatever they believe the future holds for them, spiritually, whatever, and still have their song within them playing, where they didn't let it out in the world. Still have their dreams. There's a lot of emotions I want you to feel. Excitement, happiness, adventure. But one emotion I never want you to feel, ever, not now, not 10 years, not 1,000 years from now, is the emotion of regret. I don't want you to look back decades from now and say, I coulda, I shoulda, I woulda. Or, wow, I had that great idea. I literally was talking about it with my friends. And look, that guy became a billionaire. Oh, it was my idea. Buddy, it's not your idea until you monetize it. It's not your idea until you let it out. Anything you have within yourself, if you're not letting it out, it doesn't really exist, does it? If the world doesn't know what you have, if you're keeping things to yourself, if you're not sharing it on social media, if you're not building your brand, then what do you really have? Now, what if you're scared? What if you're afraid? What if you're letting your insecurities, your self-judgment, your high levels of significance that you tie to your life, what if you're letting that sabotage yourself? How would you feel in 20, 30 years from now when you see all these things that never materialized? You never acted on them. Now, it's okay to fail. Everyone fails. Every great success fails more than anybody else. The people that hit the most home runs strike out the most. So it's okay to fail. But it's not okay to not have gone all out. It's not okay to have held yourself back. It's not okay to try to be so proper and exact and worry what people say and not be authentically you. Because people want you. That's the secret to building generational wealth, building brands. Look at the Kardashians. Whatever you think of them, but look what they've built. Whatever they touch turns into not only gold, not only diamonds, but turns into mountains of diamonds. Okay? Look at them. Cosmetically, this, that, whatever they do, whatever they get into, turns into tons of money. Why? Because they have a brand. Whether you love them or you don't, they have a brand. Okay? You need to have a brand if you're looking to build generational wealth. You need to invest in yourself if you're going to build generational wealth. Investing in yourself means getting a coach, joining coaching programs, not wasting your time with people that are low-minded, that are not thinking too high. Someone said really smartly, they say, if you let other people dictate how you live, you're going to be truly disappointed. Because you know what people have planned for you? Not much. Not much at all. They're totally fine with you staying in the status quo. Even if you go down a ton of notches, you don't progress, you don't grow, you go through life and just, survive instead of thrive. Most people won't have a problem with that. Just say, hey, you survived. You survived, great. You survived the challenges. Life could be tough. There's been so many things going on. Good job. So it's really critical that you understand that you need to shift your mindset and start thinking like an owner, like an investor. Very important. Now, what do you invest in? Great question. Okay, what has gone up steadily, almost nonstop for, the last 30, 40, 50, whatever number of years? Rent. No matter what the economy does, rents tend to go higher and higher and higher. So that means you want to be an owner of real estate as well. You want to learn about investing in real estate smartly, strategically. You want to learn how to get involved in owning units, renting them out, creating multiple streams of income. Okay, so that's another thing you want to look into as an investor, as an owner. What else do you want to do? You want to look into going ahead and getting involved with other companies. Now, we spoke about stock investments, right? Buying, public stocks. But there's also a lot of private equity. There's a lot of people that are building their brands, building different things that are really far ahead. They're starting to get revenue. They need capital. They're good, solid people, solid brands. Invest in them. If you can take that risk, consult with your CPA, check them out, do your research, check their financials. But if they're solid, good people and they're building good stuff and they're bringing in money, why not invest some money with them? Why not become part of what they're doing? Why not get equity in different companies? That's the secret. Like Tony Robbins, a lot of my mentors, they started with virtually nothing decades ago, and maybe started with 1 or 2 companies. And today, I think Tony Robbins owns like over 100 companies. Why do you think he owns so many companies? Because he finds different companies in different diversified fields, in hospitality and bio and whatever, and he buys them. He buys a piece of them, especially if they're struggling and he feels he can restructure it. He is a strategist. He's probably one of the best on the planet. So he'll take over the company and he'll fix it up. He'll fix whatever has to be done, and then he'll go and then he'll own that company, and now it's starting to do well again, you see. So you definitely want to be an investor to build generational wealth. Now, let's talk about debt. Debt is very important, okay? Your credit is your lifeline in business, in this economy, because whenever you're trying to do something, we spoke about real estate, obviously, if your credit is a lot better, a lot higher, is much closer to excellent than poor, obviously, you'll be able to get more leverage on your money, more deals. You'll be able to do more things. So credit is critical. You definitely want to build up your credit score. And how do you build up your credit score? What if you've made mistakes? We've all gone through different challenges. Well, there's a lot of different things you want to do, okay? Number one, you want to cut down, well, this is probably the smallest thing, but you want to cut down the credit inquiries. So don't apply for a million different things, because the more times you apply, it brings down your score. Only apply if it's critical, so that doesn't take down your score. Number two, a lot more important, your payment history. Okay, you want to ensure that you're paying your bill in full on time. Now, some people say, well, I just don't use credit. No, that's not smart. That's one of the biggest opportunities, to have that leverage, to have that ability. Most billionaires are billionaires because of the credit they're getting, because of the leverage they're getting, right? So credit is not bad if it's used smartly. So what you want to do is you want to have credit lines that you pay off in full or close to full. Because the worst investment is to have a credit card that charges you 20-30% or whatever. That's like crazy. Because imagine if you could invest in 20-30% on your money. You'd be a billionaire, right? You'd make so much money over time. So it's hard. So if they're getting that money from you, you're basically giving your wealth to them. So that's not a good idea. But get credit cards. Make sure your payment history is perfect. It's on time. Use the card, pay it off. Use the card, pay it off. Use the card, pay it off. Over time, you'll have multiple cards. Use them, pay it off. Pay it off. Don't buy anything that you can't afford, unless, well, even then, if you can't afford, you should do it. But you should only buy things that you know you can pay for. But if you're investing and not consuming, that's a little bit different, okay? If you're borrowing money to invest, for example, you're buying real estate and you're getting multiple properties that are going to bring you income, that are going to be tax write-offs, that are going to have so many benefits. what you do is you find a way, you go study, you go learn, you go connect with people that are very successful in real estate, and you start looking to slowly get into real estate and invest in that. But you need to also build up your credit. So the payment history is very important, like we're discussing. Use your card. You don't have a card, get a card. You can't get a card, that's okay. There's secured options where you put up a certain amount, you put up a refundable deposit, you use the card, you pay it off. You use the card, you pay it off. You do that after a while, 6 to 12 months, let's say. Then you get a higher credit line. Then you get other cards approving you. And my point is, you need to have as many credit lines as you can, maximum credit limits, that you're not leaving any balances in. So in other words, if you go from 5,000 to 10,000 to 50,000 or 100,000 credit limits, don't be using $100,000 to consume some products. That's not how you build wealth. But if you have a $100,000 credit limit, let's say, and you go buy whatever you need to do, buy for your supplies, buy for this, buy for that, and just pay it off, and you build up, pay it off in full every month. So you leave a lot of it, you leave the credit utilization really low. So if you have a $10,000 ability to spend money and there's a balance of $100, that credit utilization is almost nothing, right? And that's what you need to do consistently to build up that credit. So you need to work on the payment history. You need to work on getting more credit lines. Different diversified credit also is very helpful. But again, you want to always think in the mindset of investing, of ownership. If you're borrowing money, okay, you want to think in terms of using that money to invest in assets. You don't want to be borrowing money to consume products that are going to depreciate. You don't want to be doing and borrowing money and paying the banks crazy percentages and making the banks, more and more rich. You want to become the bank. You want to go and you want to get assets that you are investing in. And if you are borrowing money and you have an asset that's going to produce a lot more than you're paying on the interest, invest in it, okay? Another thing you might want to do is you might want to work on getting a group of investors together. Once you have a proven track record, once you have a product or service that works very well for you, maybe you don't have the capital you need, so you can get investors, okay? Yet another way to make money and build generational wealth are ClickFunnels. Look into ClickFunnels. Building funnels, building a way where you can get people to invest in you and get money without getting investors, basically. That's the whole point of a funnel. Look into clickfunnels.com. See the opportunities there. Build your funnels, build your brands, and so forth. AI! Don't be afraid of it. Yes, it has risks. Yes, it's dangerous. It could be dangerous. Just like a knife could be dangerous, like a gun could be, just like anything could be dangerous, but it could also save lives, and it could also save you time. It could also take something that took you 10 hours, and you could do it now in 20 minutes. Look into AI. Become a master of AI. Let AI help you leverage your time, leverage your resources, help you leverage your business, let it help you build your business. So really use AI, use technology. Stop being afraid of technology. We're talking about branding as well. So I'm throwing a lot of different ideas, okay? But they all have one common denominator. You need to think in terms of big things. You need to think in terms of investing. You need to think in terms of the maximum level of investing in assets and the minimal level of consumption. So you need to lower down the consumption. Now, it doesn't mean you have to starve. Doesn't mean you have to live a miserable life. No. You can live beautifully and live optimally, and I recommend that. Because what's the point of having a lot of money? You don't enjoy it. But you need to be wise about it. So your percentages of what you're investing in assets, okay, should be a lot higher than whatever you're just consuming for entertainment and so forth. So you have your regular bills, you have what you need to do to survive, right? And then after that, you need to take the majority of the money and put it into investments, into assets, into investments that produce income, very important. In investments that grow over time, in diversified things. Don't just bet on one thing. Maybe buy some gold, maybe buy some oil, maybe buy some stocks, maybe buy some real estate. Do your research, okay? So that's very important to become an investor. Now, the other thing that I do, I'm a socialite, I'm a life coach, I'm a strategist, but I'm also a trader, okay? And I've traded for years, and there's a channel you can go to, Bull Bear Strategic on YouTube. I also have a website I'm building right now, should be up soon, bullbearstrategic.com. And basically what I do is I trade the S&P 500. I'm out every day, so I'm not holding positions long term. That's my riskier part of my investing. And I actually work with a company called topstep.com. And I'm going to have the link here. You can sign up using the link. And what they do is they let you trade their money. They take all the risk. You put in a small amount. If you use my link, I think it's like $149 for the top level account. And you trade. They have all the rules there, you can see. The main rule is you shouldn't lose more than $4,500 in your account. And if you do that and you make $9,000, then you go to the next, you get the funded level, which you can do within 2-3 days even. And by the way, I just got funded today, refunded. There was a lot of times I was in it, I got funded, I even took out payments, but I got defunded because they have, tight parameters. And the way I trade is I can be up 5,000 in a day, but I can also be down 3,000, and their limit is 3,000 a day, which doesn't disqualify you. But if you lose 4,500 total from that starting balance, then you have to restart the account and it disqualifies you. So I have gotten funded in the past, I've gotten defunded, but now I am funded once again. Today was my first day of funding, and it was a good day. And the markets were collapsing. So it was a Fed day. But my point is, that might be another opportunity for you. If you're looking to get involved in trading futures, I would love to help you. I have a channel. I literally record my trades live as I'm trading. Go see that, go study that, go work with me, sign up. I may have groups in the future, I may have coaching groups for trading, but that could be another opportunity for you. You don't have to invest tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars and put that at risk. You can start with a small amount, $149, test the waters per month. Okay, it's a monthly fee until you get funded. Okay, once you get funded, it's another $149, and then you can get the first 10,000, okay, that you make, you get 100% of that, and then after that you get 90% of that. And after 5 positive days, once you're funded, okay, you can get withdrawals of half of the account. So it's just great opportunities in that. So if you're interested in doing that, you can trade the S&P 500, you can trade the Dow Jones, you can trade the NASDAQ, you can trade the Russell, you can trade gold, you can trade oil. There's so many opportunities there. So if you're interested, definitely contact me and look me up on the social media channels and look up my other channel, and definitely that's an opportunity for you. Use my link and sign up. Okay, so we're talking about investments, we're talking about credit, okay, we're talking about trading. So like we said, you want to maximize the investments you're making. You want to take a percentage of what you make and pay yourself first. You want to get that credit score optimally high. It may take some time, you may have damaged it, that's okay, life happens. Now you got to build it up again. You got to start getting those credit cards, and you got to start making a commitment to be very disciplined. You want to pay off that credit card every month, okay, and then you want to build it up. Now again, anything I say here is not investment advice, it's not credit advice. Consult with your CPA, with your investment professional. This is just for educational purposes, entertainment purposes, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's that. Now, another thing I want to tell you is you become who you spend time with. If you spend time with people that are thinking very small, are thinking in terms of being consumers. Oh, did you see that nicest dress, for a girl, or nicest this, or nice pocket, right? And they're always thinking about consumption, always thinking about gossip and politics, and talking about all these other things. but they're not talking about how to invest and how to build wealth, and they're not actually making money, those aren't the people you should be around. So one of the parts, besides investing, besides your credit, besides looking at trading, besides buying stocks, besides looking to real estate, all these different things that we're talking about to build generational wealth, you definitely want to surround yourself in a mastermind group of people that are like-minded, people that think big, people that already are wealthy financially. You know, if you're the smartest guy or the smartest girl in the room, if you're the wealthiest guy or the wealthiest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. You gotta change the room. You know, it's kind of like tennis, right? If you're playing with someone average, your skill's not gonna grow. You're gonna stay about the same. You might win most of the games, but you know, you won't grow. You won't accomplish much. But if you go and you play with a tennis champion, just for you to stay on the court for any significant amount of time, you're going to have to up your game. You're going to have to up what you're doing, what you're producing, and you become who you spend time with. You know, like they say, the 4 people in the room, what they are, you'll be the 5th, you know, more or less, of the average of what they are. So my point is, spend time with very wealthy people, with millionaires, with multimillionaires, with billionaires if you can. You know, spend time with them. If you need to wine and dine them, do that. Get some advice. Talk to smart people that have become successful. Talk to people that can be bridge builders for you. You know, you could go spend 20, 30 years figuring out how you build wealth, or you should go spend some time with someone who's built that wealth and hear some insights. And you'd be like, what, I have to go and take that person out for dinner? They should take me out for dinner. You know, they have so much money. You are looking to benefit here. You are looking to grow from the experience. So you need to give them some incentive, right? I mean, maybe you're paying them. If you do, there's something wrong with that too. If they'll help you, of course. Investing in yourself. What does it mean to invest in yourself? We spoke about investing in all these things. Investing in yourself means you put money to help yourself get the skills you need to grow financially and in all regards. So if you have to take out a wealthy man to dinner, you invest in yourself and you do that. If you have to take a wealthy man or woman and go ahead and pay for their time so it's worth it for them, go do it. Invest in yourself. If you need to get a coach, you should get a coach. Everyone needs a coach. You need an accountability partner. Question for you, okay? Have you ever said to yourself, you know what, I'm going to work out, New Year's resolution, birthday resolution, whatever it is, you know, I'm going to work out, I'm going to build that six-pack, I'm going to be in the fighter form, the warrior form, the best physical form of my life. What happens most times? Do you actually do it? Do you follow through? Maybe you do, maybe you have the discipline. But in most cases, it's tough. You might do it for a little bit and then you fall down in the cracks. And then you come up with stories and excuses and this and that, and you make it too complicated, you create too many steps, you just don't do it. Right? You ask a guy, what does it take for you to go to the gym? Oh my gosh, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta check out the gym, you know, and then they're gonna want a picture of me, and then they're gonna want to do this, show the gym, and then if I join the gym, then everyone's looking at me, they have to use those smelly lockers, and I have to do this, and I have to buy special gym clothes, and there's no parking, You create 10,000 steps, 10,000 things, and you never go, right? It becomes too complicated. So you don't usually follow through when you make it that complicated. But what if you instead make a commitment? You have a really serious personal trainer, you invest a serious amount of money to a high-level personal trainer, and he's there waiting for you, and he doesn't play or she doesn't play. You don't show up, you still get charged. You gotta be there. And this is money that, you know, is not just floating around. You need that, you know, you invest it. You're gonna show up. You're gonna be there. You're just gonna go and make it happen. You're not gonna come up with the BS excuses. So my point is, same thing with coaching. You know, whether you want to work with me or work with someone else or join future paid programs, that's what you gotta do if you want to up your game. And when you say you can't afford it, the reality is you can't afford not to do it. You can't afford not to grow. You know, people say, that's really expensive. Is it? If you right now would invest $100,000 to buy this phone that I'm using right now, okay? It's a Fold 4, it's a good phone, okay? It's used, okay? It's got a little bumps on it here and there, you know, this one doesn't have a case, the other ones do. So now, if I would say, you know what, I'm selling you this phone for $100,000, you say, are you crazy? That's so expensive. This phone's, I don't know, worth $1,800 or whatever it is, and it's used, and the value, $100,000, you're crazy. And I'm like, hold on, okay? You take my phone, okay, guess what it has in it? What does it have in it? For $100,000, what do you have? I have contacts of the who's who of the world. Every president, every socialite, every world leader, every billionaire, everyone in my phone. I also have access to developers, real estate developers that have tons of capital that they will invest if you have a good asset for it. I have all of these contacts, okay, that could potentially generate you hundreds of millions of dollars in the next 10, 20 years. They're all on my phone, and guess what? They will answer. That's the deal. You know, they will answer. That's what you get with my phone. Now, would $100,000 be expensive for such a phone? If in 20 years it could generate $100 million for you? Of course not. It would be a bargain. So, something is never expensive or cheap unless it doesn't provide a return, or it does provide the return. You know, so if you're investing in yourself, in a coach, in a personal trainer, in whatever, a business strategist, a relationship, you know, advisor, whatever it is, if you're investing in someone to help you with what you're doing, it's only expensive if the return on investment is low. But it's a bargain if the return on investment is high. So invest in yourself. You know, people asked Warren Buffett, what's the highest level of investment you can do today, in this day and age? What's the highest level of investment you can do when inflation and this and that? What do you recommend? And he said, investing in yourself. Because when inflation is tough, you invest in yourself. That's the best investment. Because as you grow, what you attract grows. Everyone's looking for something out there, but we don't realize it all starts within you. It all starts with you, my friends. Okay? So you need to really make that decision to yourself that you're going to invest in yourself. You're going to invest in assets that are consistently growing and appreciating. And you're going to go ahead and make sure that you spend a lot more of your money in investing in your future than you're investing in someone else's future and consuming their products or services, because that's what you're doing. Think about that. If you're buying the most luxurious everything, you're investing in the owners. And that's okay. I have no problem. Buy a Rolls Royce when you make $100 million. No problem. You know, maybe it could be a write-off. Maybe it could be investment in the company. Buy a private jet. It's a great write-off when you're making $100 million. No problem. But if you're struggling and you're trying to build your brand and you're buying it on credit, or you're spending all the money you have, that's not so wise. So you always have to think about investing in assets that grow. Okay, now, very important to protect yourself. And protecting yourself doesn't just mean buying insurance, which is important. Protecting yourself means that you make sure that you create an LLC, a corporation. You create, you know, billionaires don't buy anything in their own personal name. And actually, usually they have an umbrella of different corporations, you know, or LLCs or whatever, or nonprofits or this or that. So my point is, very important to protect yourself. against any liabilities. So invest in a very good lawyer and a very good accountant, and incorporate your ideas, your futures, your patents, okay? Get an LLC, get a corporation. Definitely protect yourself. Go study, go learn, okay? That's very important, you know? Nobody's gonna care for you or for your money like you will. Nobody. So you need to become a master of growing that capital. So whatever I'm telling you here are just little seedlings. This is just a little rushed part of this 4-day challenge, but you really need to go and study and commit to mastery. And you need to look at the Ray Dalios and the Jim Simons and the Tony Robbinses and the Dean Graziosis and all these other guys, and study their content. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's on. I have an audiobook on my Bull Bear Strategic channel. Type in Bull Bear Strategic. I'll put the link in here. And there's the free audiobook there you can listen to. It's like 10-11 hours, the whole book. Listen to it, master it, okay? Study. Whatever doesn't grow dies. You need to grow. If you want to build wealth, you need to grow with what you're studying. You need to grow with your knowledge. So go ahead and make that decision to grow, to study, to become better with what you understand about building wealth. All right, so it's very important also that you go ahead. All right, so the other part is you really need to cut your expenses. You know, yes, become a billionaire. Yes, become a multi-billionaire, whatever it is. But you definitely need to cut your expenses and increase the number and the sources of revenue to build generational wealth. So that means that you need to really go ahead and, you know, ask yourself, is this really necessary? Do I have to? Is this a must? Is this survival necessity of life? Or is this just some luxury that I'm forsaking my future for? You know? Like, how many things do you need to say no to, okay, today, so that you can say yes in the future? You see, every single no is a yes to something else. And every single yes is a no to something as well. So you have to make a decision. What are you going to say no to so that you can say yes to what you truly want by investing in yourself? So, look, I'd love for you to really go ahead and participate. This is a challenge, after all. You know, what we designed here was meant to really be a challenge. What's a challenge is where you challenge yourself, you push your limits, you go to the next level by really becoming the best version of yourself and taking that, you know, taking those extra steps to challenge yourself to go to new heights. So what I'd like to ask you to do for homework, okay, is I'd like you to go ahead and I'd like you to get to the bottom line truth. We have 3 days we've done so far, okay, 3 days. This is the 3rd day of our challenge. And we spoke about the 6 emotional needs, okay, and the 2 most important ones that drive you. We spoke about the patterns and recognizing patterns, using patterns and creating patterns, and recognizing the patterns in your life and changing those patterns to serve you. And today we're talking about wealth. So what I'd like you to do for real is today, for homework, I'd like you to really write down on a piece of paper and then post it in the group and share it if you'd like, or you could do a little video, you know, 1 to 5 minutes discussing it. Where are you in terms of your wealth? Now, we didn't get to relationships yet, that's tomorrow, but where are you in terms of your wealth? Okay? in terms of your emotional wealth, okay? Your happiness, your fulfillment, your, just where you are emotionally. Are you content? Do you live in a beautiful place most of the time? Just where are you? The truth. Not where you want to be. Not where you will be one day. Where are you today? Okay? I want you to write down for each of these things. So number one is emotionally. Okay? Emotional mastery is the focus. Where are you today in terms of your emotions? In terms of, is there any anxiety or depression? In terms of happiness, scale of 1 to 10. Okay? 10 means, oh my gosh, I live in a beautiful state almost all the time. Yes, I have a few moments, seconds, whatever, I'm not in this best place, but usually 99 to 100% of the time, or 95, whatever it is, over 92% of the time, I get an A, it's 10, 10 out of 10, or 9.8 out of 10 is a 10 in terms of my emotions. Is that where you are? Or is it a 1? Or is it a negative 1 or a 0? Like, is it the opposite? Am I always angry? Do I always live from victimhood? Do I always have this anger at the world? I always want to get back at the world. Do I have resentment? Do I have people that I haven't forgiven yet? Have I forgotten to forgive myself? Am I mad at myself, the world? God, where am I? So is it one extreme or another? Where do you stand? Maybe you're at 10. Maybe you're at 5, 6, 7. Maybe you're way down there. The honest truth. Where are you? Write that down. 1 to 10. Okay? And I want you to write it as a wheel. Okay? So in the wheel, you can write down where you stand in terms of, 10 would be a full wheel. So it would go from here to here, let's say. And then 0 would be right here. And, small amount would be there. So I want you to first put, it's a wheel of life. So first, where are you emotionally? Okay. After that, I want you to look at where are you physically, okay? Where are you physically? We didn't really talk much about physical health, but where are you in terms of your nutrition, in terms of, working out, in terms of, just taking care of your health? Are you using substances that you shouldn't use? Are you letting them destroy your life? Are you, taking more than you should? Are you, where are you for real in terms of your physical health? We talk about emotional health, which, by the way, is very connected to physical health. Hint, hint. So where are you in terms of your physical health? For real, in terms of your body. Is your body where you want it to be? Are you in the shape you want to be? Okay, 0 to 10. 10 means you're in your warrior form. You can take on anyone or anything. You are the best you've ever been. You're the strongest you've ever been. You are at peak levels. And 0 means the complete opposite. You're completely out of shape. You're out of control. What you're eating, your eating habits are off. Your regimen, exercise is off. Everything's off. You're really bad. So where do you stand? Okay, but then in the wheel as well. Okay, where does it go in terms of the wheel? So we have mental and we have physical. Okay. Now, so emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical. And, but by the way, I think that's all one, right? Mental, emotional, spiritual. To me, that's all one. And then we have the physical. And now, today, let's talk about the financial. Where do you stand? What's your net worth? You don't have to write down your net worth per se, but for yourself, what's your net worth? Is it where it needs to be? What's your net worth? You take your assets, and then you take your liabilities, and that equals your net worth. What does it mean, your assets? It means all those things that are producing income for you, all those things that you own, right? If you own real estate, that's an asset, okay? Where do you stand? What's your net worth? What's your financial, where do you stand financially? 0 out of 10. Is it a 10? Is it a 0? Is it a 5, 6? 7? Where do you stand? Okay? So that's the third part. Okay, and the fourth part, which we're going to get into tomorrow, but you can already put this down today, is relationship-wise. Where do you stand in terms of relationship? Now, if you're single, it's a 0, because obviously there's no relationship, right? But where do you stand in terms of your social relationships? Is it 10 where there's passionate love, uniqueness, variety, excitement, just like newness, and just like, wow, you're 10 out of 10 in terms of your relationships? Or is it a 0 where, oh my gosh, we can never get along, we're just fighting like cats and dogs, the love is gone, everything. Where do you stand in your relationship? Or is it somewhere in the middle? Or somewhere higher than the middle? Or somewhere lower than the middle? Where do you stand in your relationships? You see, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I started this generational wealth building challenge with the understanding that you cannot be truly wealthy unless your mind, your body and soul, your your finances and your relationships are all doing well for you. You know, the world is very abundant. There's so much love. There's so much money. There's so much goodness, health, wealth available. We have the best level of opportunity to do whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want, today, that we've never had. But yet, how many of us feel alone? 8 billion people on the planet. How many of us feel alone? How many of us are in a relationship and feel alone, right? How many of us don't feel love, even though we're with people? How many of us are with people, but we don't feel connected, so we don't have that wealth, okay? One of the greatest levels of wealth is networking, is being in a social group, is feeling and giving love. You know, love, the more you give, the more you get back. Love is something that it's not like, oh, I give, I have nothing left. No, if you give, you give, you give. You just become better. You just have to reframe it if you think differently. You have to look at it differently. You have to give it a different meaning, a different story. But that's what it is, right? So my point is I built this challenge so that we can build the starting point to head towards levels of imperfect growth towards generational wealth in all regards. Money, body, spiritual, emotional, physical, you know, everything, relationships. So today, as we're closing out this third day, okay, third night, I want you to really go deeply, and I really want you to ask yourself, where are you? What's been holding yourself back? What's been stopping you? Where are you physically in terms of your form, your health? You ask someone, how are you doing? How's your health? Pretty good. Really? Well, I barely sleep, have insomnia, I'm always living, oh my gosh, worried. Sometimes I have anxiety, panic attacks. So maybe health is not where it should be yet. Where are you financially? I'm good. Oh, really? No, I work overtime like crazy. I'm exhausted, okay? There's always more month than money at the end of the month. You know what I mean by that? So in other words, it's the middle of the month and you're already out of cash. And you still have all 2 more weeks to go. So where are you financially, and where are you in terms of your relationships? Where are you in terms of your own personal self? In terms of forgiving others? By the way, you know what the most important thing in the world, I believe, is one of the most important things in the world is to realize that your life and where you are is your own personal responsibility. It's not your parents. It's not God. It's not bad luck. And forget about superstition. That's not even an option. Where you are is because of only one person. It's all your fault. But not in a way to beat yourself up. Not in a way to look, oh my gosh, I'm so terrible. What did I do? No. In a way of freedom. In a way of realizing if you've created the mess, you can fix the mess. If you've created a situation that you're not happy with, you can create a situation that you are happy with. You are a co-creator with God, the universe, whatever you believe, so that you can go ahead and you can actually create the life you want for yourself. So generational wealth means that you take your life back. You take your life back in every single regard. You don't let your insecurities, you don't let other people, other voices, your parents, your victimhood, whatever you've been through. I'm not minimizing any of that. Of course it sucks. Of course if I could, I would go and do whatever it takes to set everyone straight and fix what I have to for you, so you can feel, that, justice was done. But at the end of the day, is that what you really need? Does that really serve you? If you still have that anger and that hatred? No. When you forgive someone, you're forgiving them for you. You're forgiving them for yourself. You want God to forgive you. You want others to forgive you. You need to forgive others, but you also need to forgive yourself. You also need to make a decision that you're going to let go. Let go. Just let go. Let it be. Move on. I look at life that it's either a success or you grow. And actually both of them are successful, but either you got the result you wanted or you grew. Okay? That's it. Either you earn or you learn. You earn or you learn. Okay? That's what it's all about. So life's experiences are all about how you can grow. So generational wealth means you take all the parts of your life. Now look at that wheel you created. Look at that. Take that circle. Create little shaded areas for each part. Okay? Cut it into, those 4 parts. And where does each part go? Is it shaded halfway, full? Is it shaded drop? Where does it go? 0 to 10. And then ask yourself, how would you survive or thrive? Well, forget about, thriving if you can't even survive, but how would you thrive, which would automatically include survival, with that wheel of life? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why you don't feel wealthy. Maybe it's not about how much money is in your bank account, because there's a lot of billionaires that are poor, really poor. They might have billions of dollars of assets, but they're miserable. There's no relationship, there's no love, there's no meaning, there's no fulfillment, there's no happiness, there's no nothing. So, are they wealthy? No, they're poorer than the guy living in the street. So, the bottom line here is you need to really take an honest look at where are you today and where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to progress to? My motto is progress and party with Sammy Adari. And to me, life is about progress. Life is about how can I grow? How can I give? And it's about having wealth and abundance and tuning into that abundance and going on a different paradigm. The paradigm here of surviving is not the same paradigm of thriving. And it's not the same paradigm of super, beyond your wildest dreams thriving. So if you want to go to the highest level, you got to shift your paradigm. You got to change your thought process. You got to change your patterns, like we discussed yesterday. The repetitive thoughts, the repetitive behaviors. That's why you need those meditations, to meditate every single day, or as much as possible throughout the week. Even if it's 5-6 days a week, that's great, But meditate every day. Listen to these people that are experts in getting you in the right state, in reprogramming your mind, in reprogramming your subconscious. Listen to it before you go to sleep. I have a meditation goes for 11 hours. I don't usually sleep 11 hours, a lot less, but I'm just saying, but it goes for 11 hours. Louise Hay, you can go look it up. One of my favorites. Okay? She helps a lot with the forgiveness and all these things, and loving yourself and loving others, and she talks about mirror work. She's just amazing soul. So I'm gonna have a morning meditation. Joe Dispenza really awesome, Tony Robbins, the breathing techniques with Wim Hof. But you need to biochemically change yourself. You need to use your body. Motion creates emotion. You need to go with these like-minded. Why do you think I created this group, this Facebook group? Why do you think we have this thing that now we're shifting the group, but why do you think this group exists? To serve you, so that you can go and you can come and connect with like-minded individuals. So come, join, participate, bring your friends, okay? So listen, the bottom line is sending you lots of love, looking forward to tomorrow when we talk about love and relationships, and please do your homework, fill out your wheel of life, let us know, share it with us, create a little live video. All right, sending you love, have a good night. Always remember to progress and party with Sammy Adari.